Welcome, friends. So, most people live their whole lives without knowing the real reasons why they suffer, why they get sick, why the headaches, nightmares, why the mind races uncontrollably, why they get anxiety or panic, why relationships can collapse, why certain opportunities never appear for some but seem easy for others, why it seems that certain situations plague a person or follow a person but not the others. And there's a deeper world, and once you see it, once you start working with it, everything begins to change. This is the foundational layer. This is the energy informational world. And this is where Cosmoenergy comes in. So, what is Cosmoenergy and its flows, and what makes this system so powerful for self-development, transformation, healing, and changing the course of one's life? It's not easy to summarize such an advanced system in just a few words, but I'll try to break it down very simply so you can understand why this system is so irreplaceable, especially in today's world and what lies ahead. Everyone I attune and teach to use this power, I always tell them the same thing, that Cosmoenergy and its flows will give you what you want much faster than you think. Your wishes, your desires, your dreams, your wants, the things you want consciously, and especially the things you want subconsciously, those deep inner desires, those deep, unbendable intentions of will and wants, they will begin to happen much quicker and faster in the life of a person once they have an attunement into Cosmoenergy and start to use this system. Everything becomes stronger about a person. Everything will be amplified, both the things you see and the things you don't see yet. Cosmoenergy, as I see it, is first and foremost about growth and development. It's about learning, exploring, and using the energy informational world, learning to adjust and control it to help you change your life and the space around you. It's about transformation and enlightening the inner and the outer worlds. It's about exploring and working with the energy informational world, which then creates our physical reality. And all that exists is information, energy dash information, informational processes. And Cosmoenergy allows you to not only begin to see what's happening inside your world and outside, but gives you the ability to start positive processes on layers where everything begins and ends before things turn into sickness or illness or a headache or some other unfavorable process. And I'm transferring this power so that people can learn to work with themselves, can learn to help others, can learn to start positive processes of transformation within themselves and the space around them, so that a person can pivot their life in the direction where they want to go. But what you do with this power is up to you. Now, everyone says energy, but what's important is what kind? Where did it come from? Where is it going? What's the spectrum? What's the source? The source matters, friends. The information and the source of that energy, it matters. It's not the quantity, it's the quality and the source. Because sometimes feelings of joy and ecstasy, they drain the potentials, and vice versa. Things that may be frowned upon by others are actually filling you with energies and potentials which you need to become healthier, happier, or more successful. And all these things matter, and this is once again where Cosmoenergy comes in. We live in a world filled with noise, emotions, thoughts, stress, internal confusion, thousands of processes, patterns, energies, all like a kaleidoscope of colors. Everything's happening at the same time. Physically, we know how to interact with our world. We can pick up our phone, we can open the door, close a window, go to the store and feed ourselves. But in the world of energy and information, the realm where true healing, where everything begins and ends, where real transformation starts, Most people are completely blind, unaware, and asleep. And these flows and this system not only allows you the ability to begin to see, but to start influencing the energy informational world, which then creates our physical reality. So to begin to truly change things, to truly change and improve yourself, you need to start working on the foundational layer. And besides unlocking abilities, intuition, vision, control of situations, because that's all part of Cosmoenergy, what I think is even more valuable is that it allows you to see things which you didn't see before. And with time, with practice, as you begin unpacking this power, these flows, and what they carry, you begin to recognize not just patterns, but you begin to see kind of a coded language that creates and shapes many things around us. So this kaleidoscope of chaos, slowly with time, with practice, turns into letters, words, sentences. First you see letter A, then B, then C. So when someone says energy, yes, sensations, yes, feelings, yes, the change in the endocrine system, but what's actually happening? What are you gaining? What are you losing? And when a person begins unpacking these flows, it's no longer I feel something, so it must be good. If you take energy, a volume of information, a person, a system, process, and you begin to slowly see what's inside of it, like a periodic table and its elements, by spectrum, color, what it does, what it gives, what processes it starts, what source, where did it come from? Because maybe it hyperactivates your first chakra and you feel full of energy and potential, but it takes potential from your fourth chakra or the upper chakras, and it's not always too easy to restore those potentials. I see the system of Cosmoenergy as a keyboard, a command center with letters through which you not only begin to see the world and interact with it, but write your own programs. Write your own energy informational programs for yourself and the space around you. So you look at something and instead of assuming or suspecting, you slowly begin to see what is actually happening, what interacts with what, and what it's actually doing, which processes it starts in your body or someone else's. And then you slowly will begin to see that certain things which are marketed as good for you are actually destroying your physical and mental health, and vice versa. You see that some things that people say should be avoided are actually good for you. And not just see, but begin to learn to influence and affect that world. And step by step, little by little, you go from being asleep and unaware to being active, awake, aware, and in control of the energy informational field structure, and therefore your own physical body, your own space. So here's a simple analogy to help you understand. Imagine that a human being has its own operating system, which we do, like a computer or a phone. And throughout life, throughout interacting with other people, systems, governments, through conflict, ideologies, one way or another, our system becomes compromised, full of bugs, viruses, malicious or broken code, because people typically don't have a built-in firewall, a built-in protection and defense mechanism to protect their field structure. Most people are wide open, and anyone who's stronger than the person can just come in and do what they want. So leaks of data and no sophisticated algorithms to protect and defend. No sophisticated programs to start processes of cleansing or restoration of the system, repair or upgrade. Now, when someone undergoes an attunement, the first thing we do is remove all of the malicious code, unsanctioned access, bugs, viruses, everything is gone. The system gets restored. And then on top of that, the system gets an upgrade, an attunement into Cosmoenergy. In other words, we upgrade the OS, the operating system, with very sophisticated programs, applications, abilities, and power to do the things that the system person can do before an attunement. This is power and abilities to do the things that they couldn't do before. It's quite literally an upgrade of a human being, an upgrade of their consciousness. Now it's no longer just them. It's them plus power. Their consciousness plus the power of consciousness of Cosmoenergy and its flows. And we'll dive into the process of an attunement and what happens during an attunement at a later time. But let's suppose that you have a need to work with your kidneys or your liver or your heart. So you activate the flow, and not only does it help start positive processes in you, you begin to see what you do and what internal or external problems cause that organ or that system or create that problem. In other words, you begin to see what negatively influences and affects, so that you can solve the problem at the root, help you solve that problem on the level of the mind, so that it can then take effect on your physical body, whether it's building sophisticated protection and defense mechanisms and learning mechanisms of transformation, so that you know how to begin transforming negative energies into raw potential, into potential you can direct into various areas of life. So the more negative processes and pressure you're on, the more you can convert into something positive. This is really one of the technologies of the future, and a true upgrade of a human being, of their body, of their mind, and their spirit. Each Cosmoenergy flow is a very sophisticated set of programs and algorithms which a master transfers to student. This is collection of very special, sacred, powerful, and sometimes instant upgrade in abilities. If you want to accumulate potential, you open a specific flow and your field structure begins to accumulate as much potential as it could take, because as we know, the potential in the chakras is one of the main things that defines the kinds of processes which are happening in the person's life. If you want to start processes of removing negative energies and destructive elements, you activate specific flow designed for that. Protection and transformation, because with every attunement, I transfer multiple layers of protection and defense and transformation, so that you can begin developing these mechanisms within yourself. And unlike Reiki, that's gentle, where you're passive, Cosmoenergy is very active, in control, precise, and very surgical. You are in control, you know what to do, and you do it. In Reiki, you trust and let go. In Cosmoenergy, you are in control. You are in command. You do what's right, you know what's right, and you start positive processes for you or someone else if you decide to work with other people. Cosmoenergy as a system isn't just for those who are interested in its healing abilities. It's for people who are interested in true growth and development and true transformation, who want control over their bodies, their minds, their field structure, their situations, who are interested in spiritual awakening, if you will, who are interested in taking control and responsibility of their lives and their future. And whether you're a practitioner, a beginner, an empath, or a person who just simply feels stuck, Cosmoenergy will meet you where you are, and there's no limit to how far you can go. And it will help you change and help you transform, not always in the way that you think it will. It will open up abilities and things within you that you couldn't do before. You can spend your whole lifetime doing all sorts of practices, yoga, meditating, etc. But sometimes you can do with Cosmoenergy in 20 minutes, 30 minutes, 1 hour, what you'll never be able to do with other practices. And that is very valuable, friends. For those who are serious about taking control of their lives, of their minds, of their potentials, of their future and their lives, for those who are tired of being prisoners of their circumstances, I hope to see you at the next retreats and seminars, where I'll be transferring this power so you can take real steps towards growth and development, towards physical and mental and spiritual transformation.